everyone. Welcome to First Friday in Fine Arts. So glad you could drop in. We are sort of wrapping down a little bit in the Fine Arts department. We have one more general meeting that'll be in April, the first Friday or the first Monday in April. And so please feel free to drop in. We'll probably be, among other things, talking about what's going to be available during the summer season. And those of you that are year-round here, which isn't me, but there are a lot of people who are, you might be interested in coming down to the art room. It'll be more relaxed, a little less hectic, but there will be a lot of opportunities for different kinds of experimentation. I've heard that the oil teacher may be giving some oil lessons, and there are probably going to be pencil and pastel artists who will be willing to drop in and give you a hand or get you started on a medium. So you really ought to drop into a meeting because it really tells you what's going on. The other option you have is you could sign up for the Fine Art Chat, and that comes out, it's free, and it lists all our activities, it has our calendar in it, comes out twice a month during the season and a couple times during the summer just to update people. And if you're interested in that, my email is jenny.stiles@gmail.com. So just drop me an email and I'll be glad to put you on the list. You'll know what's going on. So as I said, the meeting will be April 6th, and there are a couple of workshops that are coming up. There aren't too many that have openings right now. They've gotten full, but there are some where you could drop in and watch what's going on. One of them is an acrylic pour class. I think there's maybe 3 different sessions. Those are evening sessions. I think Wednesday evenings. I can't give you the dates right now, but if you'll check in the chat or come to the meeting, you'll find out. The other is Ukrainian egg dyeing, and I know that class is full, but it is fun to come in. I think that's on Thursday afternoons. It'll be starting sometime this month. So I'm going to say maybe third Thursday or something like that in the month, and you could just drop in and watch what they're doing. It's really amazing and very beautiful work, fun to do. So get with it, get on the list, find out what's going on in the art room. There's a lot of workshops and classes that we have. One of the workshops that is coming up that is open, there's no sign-ups, you can just drop in, is my sketching workshop, and I'm going to I finished the indoor classes, but now we're going to meet outside and work with outdoor sketching. You don't have to sign up, you don't even have to take in my other classes, you can just drop in. We're going to meet down at the boathouse, or down along the river, not the boathouse, where the dragon boats keep their boats and the canoes are stored, between the baseball diamond and the river, right in that area. There's places to park off to the side. Just bring sketching materials, pencils, whatever it is you like to work with. I like to work with ink. And we're going to meet about 9:30. Now that's on Thursday, the 19th of March. As I said, you don't have to sign up, just show up. I think we have that on the chat, and so you can see that when you get the newsletter. And around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll do a little demo. This is one that I have done that is called Down by the River, and this is where the canoes are stored. And this is an ink and watercolor, and so I'm going to do a similar demo to this, maybe a different subject, I'm not sure. And maybe with some different media, maybe in pencil or watercolor pencil, or I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do it in. So I'll do the demo around 10, and that's on Thursday, March 19th, 9:30 in the morning. Now it's dependent that it must be sunny that day. If it's a cloudy morning, then we'll postpone it a week and try for the following Thursday. So that is about, probably we'll work until about noon, so 9:30 to noon, that sort of thing. So I hope you can drop in and or drop down and see what we're doing in the sketching class. That would be really nice. Okay, let's see if I've got everything on my list. The meeting, the workshops, the acrylic pour, the Ukrainian egg dye, how to get on the chat, you know how to do that. Workshops that are coming, the sketching workshop by the river, we must have sunshine, somebody work on that. I think that's about it. Did I miss anything?
Just my pencil.
Pencil workshop.
Pen and ink. workshop.
Yeah, you're going to talk about that. No, okay. So our artist today is somebody that you probably know already, especially if you've been in the art room. I think she lives in here. I think every day that I've been there, she's been there. So she's either, I don't know, Monday's your day. Monday and Wednesday. Monday and Wednesday is her day. So she is one of those people that, I don't know what she does when she's not doing art, because when she's not in the art room, then she's home producing art. So this is an arty lady. Right, so Jackie Bronto, how are you this morning?
I am fine, and I do other things. I do go to the gym and the pool.
Oh, good. There are a few other things in your life.
That
And
I
you
do.
eat and sleep.
And I eat and I sleep,
Eat and
yes.
sleep. And sometimes you go away. You're going to go off on a trip.
And we do day trips.
And you do day trips.
And I like to go to the Victory Casino.
Oh, see, she has another life
Yeah, I do
besides
have another
art.
life.
But I had no idea, because that's where I always see her.
Yes, I do art all the way through July.
Where are you from?
Vermont.
Oh, are you really from
Yes, I am
Vermont?
from
I don't know why I missed that.
Yes, I am from Vermont.
Really good.
That's why love to paint landscapes.
You think people from Vermont like landscapes?
Oh, probably. They like the mountains and they like the lakes.
It's a pretty place
Yes,
to be.
and they like the fall. Not the winter so much.
So did you just start painting as a kid?
Never.
Never?
I have never painted till I came here.
No.
No, well, I did some toll painting on wood and slate. No, just never had time. But I was in school, and then I went to college, and I worked 2 jobs, and then I worked for GE, and I was into 60-hour work weeks.
What'd
Didn't
you
have
do
time
for
for painting.
GE?
I was a negotiator for the big weapons systems.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. That doesn't sound ardent.
Not arts at all. It's all finance, all numbers.
I would say 90% of the artists that I interviewed didn't start painting until they got to Hawthorne. I think that's really an amazing statistic.
I said when I retired, I would do nothing with numbers.
Yeah. So you're not paid by numbers.
No, nothing with numbers. Except my own budget.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. So we talked about, before we came on the air, we talked about mediums, and you said you tried to bring today a variety, but you have favorites.
I do have favorites now, yes. Actually I have 3 favorites, but I really love pastels. I love colored pencil, or white and black, and I'm getting to love watercolor, which is new to me.
Okay.
But I like the experimentation of it.
Yeah, it's got that free flow. And, you
And
have to
I'm very anal, so I'm very detailed, so I'm trying to loosen up a little bit. Hasn't worked yet. I'm still very detailed.
Well, and watercolor can be controlled.
Yeah.
Once you practice with it. But it also has another side. If you feel like getting wild and crazy and
Well,
kind
most
of
of the
letting
stuff
it.
I do right now is sporadic. Just, you don't know what is going to happen.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I just have never any idea what's going to come out of it. So, I have an idea, but it changes
So,
as it comes, evolves.
do you have a studio in your home?
Yes, I do.
You have a little space that you're on.
I have my own little den with French doors, and when they're closed, Jerry doesn't come in. Yeah, it's my own little room.
Well, a room
Has
of
my own
one's own.
TV. It
room of one's
has,
own.
part of it's an office, but most of it's, if you came in there, it's all art.
I have actually
Yeah.
been in there now that you mentioned
Yeah,
it,
it's
so I
all-
recognize that description.
My own art closet. I could start my own hobby shop. And a lot of my students come over, do you have?
Yeah, you usually
And
have.
I do.
Well, it's interesting because later we'll have to talk about the sketching thing that I'm going to do with the demo. I'm thinking of using some different media like watercolor pencil and pastel pencil. And I've found a couple of artists who do that. They're not all just watercolor and ink. A lot of them are ink or sometimes graphite. And then other mediums. So because if you're not a watercolorist, that might turn you off. There are other ways to sketch.
Most of mine, even my pencils now, have some pastel in them.
Yeah.
They're mixed media. I'm working on a pastel now that has a watercolor base. on sandpaper.
Oh, okay, I've seen
Yeah.
that done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got these other things I'll talk about after with the new stuff I'm trying before I try it before I teach it.
Well, yeah.
Until it doesn't, until
Well, I
it
didn't
comes
even
out.
mention that, actually, if you don't know Jackie. Obviously, she's learned how to paint once she got here, but now she's teaching other people. Now, that's a common story, too.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
get so enthralled with it, and they find it such a relaxing and wonderful hobby. They want to share it. They want other people to know about it.
Now we can help each other. I learn from them.
Yeah.
I mean, Jane Sackman, I don't do snow and I'm from Vermont, but everybody wants a snow landscape from me, so I'll learn snow from her.
Just because you live in a snowy climate doesn't mean you
I
don't
know,
paint
but you
snow.
know, I don't want to paint snow, but I will, because they want a snow picture.
Yeah, to take north, I suppose,
Especially
or
after this,
to remember.
after the 17 inches of snow they just got, I have so many pictures coming my way. Jackie, this is what you're gonna paint.
We were talking too before we went on air about where to get photographic images if you paint from photographs. Obviously, if you're going to do this kind of thing, this is going to be actually from life. We're actually going out and looking at a landscape and drawing it. But you also can take photographs of it and then work in your studio. That's just another way of doing it. But we also talked about where you get the photographs. Your own are the best.
Right, and that's what I do. I've taken pictures, I always took pictures, so now I go through all my pictures and take a building. Or like one of these pictures is from the pond near the near the laundromat. And I'll take a piece from one place and another piece from another place, or I'll set up a display. Unless I'm going to teach something, like one of these pictures is from a photograph, but I wanted to use a new process and have it something very simple so that I could teach the other people in my class this new method. So I don't want anything complex. And that's how I
When you
first
talk
did it.
about setup, you mean like a still life?
Yeah, like when I was taking with Al and I did this big bucket and boxes of
Okay.
oranges.
Yeah.
I actually went to the store, got oranges in boxes and set it up.
And so did you paint looking at it, or did you take a
I
photograph?
took a photograph, but he wanted to see it, you know how Al was.
Yeah.
He wanted to see it, and so I did it that way.
Okay. And setting up a still life is a little bit of work, isn't it?
It's hard.
You have to have a background, and you have to have the shadows right, and the
Oh,
light
yeah.
right.
And then it changes, so you gotta take a picture of it.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Because
idea.
you know me, it took me 6 months to do the painting.
She's not quick.
I am not quick, it takes me a long time.
Very good.
But I tell everybody, the slower you do it, the better it's gonna show. It's not gonna show like you're coloring.
Do you work on more than one painting at a time?
Oh, definitely, I got like 4 going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, you think, somebody would look at my painting and say, you know, I paint pretty fast, actually. If I work on something for 3 days, that's probably a pretty long time for me. She might work on it for months,
Yeah.
getting it just the way she wants it. But when you talk to someone who works for 4 months or 6 months or whatever on a painting, then you think, how do they ever, well, they work on more than one at a
You
time.
put it away when you're frustrated and work on something else. I've got one almost done, it's a viola, and it's a guy that's, you know, doing this, and I can't get the hand. So it's sitting over there, just sitting there.
Do you ever sleep on it? To me, sometimes when I get to a problem in a painting and I'm really frustrated, I'll put it aside, and that night, sometimes in my dream, all of a sudden, I'll wake up in the morning, green. I need to add green or whatever.
I do,
kinda
I
solves the
do.
problem.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have colorful dreams, though.
I do.
You had a couple of announcements before we go to your paintings. Do you remember what they were?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, I do have an announcement. There are a lot of pictures in the gallery and toward the billiard room that the artist put up for everybody to enjoy. And there was one specifically, this one of a cat. Let's see if I can put it over here. This one of a cat that was hanging in the gallery by the billiard room. The artist is very flattered that someone liked it so well that they borrowed it. And she would like it to be returned to the wall if possible so that everyone could enjoy them. These paintings some of them are for sale. They have to be contacted, you have to contact the artist if you want to purchase them. Most of them are there just for your enjoyment, for everybody's enjoyment. So would you please return it and she'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Very nicely said, dear. Good job. Anything else you had to announce? Anything about your summer classes?
Oh, I'm going to be teaching colored pencil or white on black on Mondays through July. And I will be teaching or helping people with pastel on Wednesdays. And then there's a lot of us that are here year-round, so that's when we learn a lot of new things. That's when I practice different things in the summer, and then Jane's here and Gloria's here, and all of us are teachers, and we bounce ideas from each other. And then, so come and join us, and we'll get you started. And don't say you can't draw a line with a straight line with a ruler. That's good. We don't use rulers. So come on down, and you'll have fun. Something to do.
Mondays and Wednesday mornings.
Monday and Wednesday mornings at 9:30, definitely. And if we're not going to be there, we'll tell each other, well, we're going on a trip. You don't have to come every week. Just show up. We'll get you started on something. Trust me. I say that all the time.
Trust me. A lovely time to get.
Yeah, because you get more one-on-one training in the summer because there's not that many of us. But come down next Monday. I mean, I have new people coming in every Monday.
Now, you're specifically teaching how to pastel. Why don't you tell about this?
I am specifically going to be teaching, what does that mean?
Okay.
I'm specifically going to be teaching a class on Monday, March 29th, and the second Monday of April. And it's going to be one of these paintings you'll see in a minute. It's going to be a wheelbarrow and a crate of flowers. It's called Flower Delivery. And the first, I'll show it to you now. This is going to be, it's going to be pen and ink and acrylic. And this is going to be the inking part. And that's all you're going to be doing before the class. If anybody's interested, come on down on a Monday and I'll give you, it's a pattern. You're going to use a pattern, so you don't have to freehand this. You will trace it on a piece of watercolor paper, 140-pound watercolor paper. And then I will be teaching it with, the coloring part of it will be done with acrylic that I'll furnish. And Gloria Foreman will be teaching it, if you're interested in watercolor, with watercolor. Right now the class has 16 people in it. We were limiting it to 15, but since she's going to be teaching part of it and I'll be teaching another part, we probably have room for a couple more. And it's fun. You'll see the finished picture in a few minutes.
She has a sample for us to tweak our interest in this one. And before we go on to your paintings that are hanging here, and they're going to be in the library for the month, what was I going to say? Oh, we started talking about photographs. And we actually went off on another trail, but one of them was, we had talked together about why you just can't take a photograph off the internet or off a calendar, or what would be wrong with that?
Well, first of all, there's what do you call it?
Copyright.
Photo copyrights. So if you're going to take a picture from a calendar, which most students will take pictures from our calendars and our references, and they'll trace mainly the outline, and some of them will copy it direct. Now you can use that for giveaway as a gift, or you can keep it for your own personal use. But you can't mass produce it and try to sell it because of copyright laws. So I encourage people, and I did the same thing in the beginning. I copied directly because I didn't know any better and I didn't have all this experience I have now. But for example, I did this watercolor, this ocean scene, and I had drawn out every little rock you can think of. And I brought it to my mentor, Al Leonard, I took privately with him for a few years, and that's where I get a lot of my experience. He was a great mentor. And the first thing he did took with me, and I had this on this humongous canvas, he made me white it all out. And then I had to do it in geometric shapes. And he'd talk about all these words, right? And I went, Al, I never took geometry. Tell me, is it a triangle, a block, or whatever it was? And I had to start it all over again. So I learned that way. You do not copy every single thing. That's why with this wheelbarrow and the crate, I say, don't copy all the lines. just the outline, and then do your own thing. It's an old wagon, and I like to do old
And
buildings.
you mentioned earlier too that sometimes you take a piece from something, a
Right.
photograph, and then you're in charge.
Right.
This photograph is not in charge. So if you want to put a mountain in the background, you get to do that, you know, or a tree, move
Right.
the tree over where it looks better.
Yeah, you can take a calendar and just take a piece of it, and or just the building, and then put anything else you want on it. And
Nobody would
that's-
ever recognize it.
No, no, ever recognize it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this grandmother and this little girl in a flower garden. Well, it's all trees, actually, the picture. But I went down to the Mount Dora Festival, Art Festival, and I went down by the Lakeside Inn, and they had all these flowers in front of it. So I took pictures of that, and I'm putting those flowers in this picture. So it'll be mine. And I'm doing it in pastel. It's in process. And I love doing this one. So I'm working on it.
See,
So
we
that's
get,
what you
we
have
get
to do.
excited, but when you're
Yeah.
doing compositional things, you know, you can, even with your own photographs, a little bit from here, a little bit from there, your wheelbarrow from here, your flowers from here,
Yeah.
and design your own picture, and it's yours.
And they're getting there. I mean, in the beginning, they just trace. But now, I was just excited at the show Sunday that my students that I'm teaching have put their paintings in, and they're coming such a far way. I get so excited when they put their paintings in.
It's fun to talk to Jackie. She loves what she does.
I do, I really
Let's
do.
take a look at her paintings now, and these are going to be down in the library. I always give you the caveat that these will not look the same on the television as they do in person. So, and we do get reflections and stuff on the glass. This is one of her favorites.
This is probably my favorite picture. Because it's a watercolor, and I'm not really a watercolorist, and it's Florida swallowtails. And to give you an example, I went to the Leesburg Library in the Florida room, and I was looking for some inspiration, and I found just a very small butterfly book. So it only had those 3 top butterflies in there, and I had this beautiful frame, and I said, what could I put in there? So I put the double butterflies in there. But the thing about this is it's watercolor. It's only my second watercolor, and it's only done with 3 colors. The 3 primary colors, you make all the other colors. And it's the Leon Kwan Zen method, where you pour the background and you figure out what you're going to put on it. So it was one of these accidental pictures that I loved.
Oh, that's
And
great.
I had no idea how it was going to come out, except I just kept pouring. You sort of save where the butterflies were going to go, but I did pour the butterflies too, and then you do negative painting. I had no idea what negative painting was.
So you have to come to her classes. She'll explain what that means.
Yeah, so that's done, we do this in our Friday morning experimental classes.
Oh, yeah.
And Sheila Spencer's really good at this.
Yeah.
And she taught us how to do this.
Okay.
And so there's a few of us that really love this method.
Okay. And don't ask to buy it. She said she's not selling it.
Now, this one I was offered money for this one by 3 separate people, but no, it's not for sale.
Okay. Let's look at the next one. What's the medium in this?
This is an oil.
That's
I did this with Al,
Uh-huh.
and everybody should recognize it. It's the Fountain Lake, Lake Sunrise by the laundromat on Tamworth. And if you look very closely, if you see it in the library, it has a rainbow coming from the fountain.
Oh, yeah.
And I took a photograph of it in my golf cart. I went riding around one day, and the sun was shining just right, and it had just rained, of course. And I took a photograph. It took me a long time to do this
I
picture.
bet.
Yeah.
Water is very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I had Al.
Yep, you had Al.
I
Now,
was-
the
I was-
trees are in the background are wonderful.
Yeah, we had a lesson. There was Diane Vance and I and Ginny Sullivan in this private class with Al, and we did learn how to do greens.
Yes.
And I kept that chart, so now everybody wants to borrow that chart to learn how to do greens.
Recipes for greens.
I'm a landscape painter, and I don't like painting green.
Well, that's
Not weird.
you better stick with snow.
No, I do fall. I do a lot of fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
This is a pastel, and this is like I told you, I took just a building that I found someplace on the road, And then there was another photograph that had this fence that I liked, but behind that fence was a junkyard
Oh,
in the picture that I had, okay? But I like the fence.
yep.
And then the rocks came from my girlfriend's, she lives on a farm and then she has this rock ledge that she has a garden on. So I sort of put the three pieces together and I said, what the heck could it be? And so we were in Vermont, I put the little mountain there. And then I said, it'll be a woodshed. So you can see underneath, it's a wood,
Oh,
a
yeah.
woodshed.
I
It's
can
an
see
old
that.
woodshed, and that's what it's called. It's called the old woodshed.
It has wonderful color.
And the rocks were really hard. Rocks are hard.
Yep,
And I put a couple of daisies in there because I like daisies.
very good.
But
Yep, I
that
see.
took a while, but I really like this picture. My husband likes my pastels. My nephew wants
Is this
picture.
pastel that you're saying?
This is
Yeah.
a pastel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Oh, yeah, nice.
This one is Daisies for Eileen, and it's my girlfriend Eileen Dopkin who does ceramics. And it's pastel on suede with the ladybug. And she does great ceramics. And I wanted one of those flat Christmas trees everybody was working on. And she loved this so much, and I says, why don't we trade?
Ah,
So this I went and took off her wall yesterday.
poor
But she
girl.
said I could put it in the library because she's got to go to Michigan. But it was a challenge because of all pastel on black suede. You have to be careful. You can't go like this and take the pastels.
Oh,
All those pastel particles will go all the way on those black suede.
the little powder.
Oh, it's all powder. Yeah, you have to be very careful.
How do you do that to get it off?
Well,
Turn it
what you
upside-
do is you turn it upside down
Okay.
and you pat it.
Okay, got it.
But
Never thought of
it
that.
took a long time to get the white.
Yep.
But the ladybug took at least 10 layers of different colored pastel. Yep.
That is a medium I know nothing.
I love pastel.
Yeah, I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Sassy Philly, and I was experimenting the first colored pencil on suede.
Oh,
It's on gray suede, and it has, I can't even tell you how many colors it has in it. But she was so pretty that I liked her.
Yeah.
And so in the wispiness of her hair gives you the impression she's running.
yep.
And she came out good. I liked her.
Yes,
I liked her.
that is.
Now my husband thinks it's a sissy little dog, a sissy little horse. But
We like to see little horses.
that's why I call it Sassy Philly. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
So colored pencil on suede is like working with butter. And that's Marlene Russ's words, because she started us on this. Marlene does any medium, she does great, except she doesn't work with oil. She is a great colored pencil person, as well as the acrylic teacher.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one is the new method that I'm working with, that now I've got some of the other people doing. And this is the simple cherries that I told you about. And that one I did use a pattern so I could show them how to do it. And I got really excited about this method because you put 3 layers of pencil on, and then you use a Gamasol minerals, odorless mineral spirits, and it melts the wax underneath.
Okay.
And then every cherry has at least 9 layers.
Well, what do you apply the Gamsol with?
Just a little, you take a paintbrush and you dip it into the Gamasol, and then you put it on top of a paper towel so that it's almost just damp. Because if you put too much, it's going to make an impression on your white paper. And that's done on stone hedge paper.
Okay.
Has to be stone hedge paper. I did use polychromo pencils on this. It melts it better, but you can use Prismacolor because I'm trying it on something else.
I do know enough about colored pencils to know the difference. Prismacolor is a wax-based
And polychromo is oil-based.
Oil-based pencil.
But it works both ways, but they came out really cool, and I like it.
Very, very
It's
nice.
pretty simple for me, but to teach other people, I want to keep it simple.
Exactly. Very nice.
And this is the one I was talking about that is going to be the final picture of the class I'm going to be teaching. And this picture doesn't do the flowers very good justice on television. But they're very bright, and you can make them brighter or lighter or whatever. So come on down and see it in the library. And then the watercolor, of course, you can make as light or dark as you want. Same with the wheelbarrow. I will actually be doing another one in the class. The one you just saw as the inking will be my palette for you, and I will show you how to mix the colors to do
Is
this.
this one acrylic or watercolor?
This is pen, ink, and acrylic. And when I teach it, we'll do pen, ink, and acrylic, or pen, ink, and watercolor. And then we might even put a little pastel on it to bring out all the hues in the acrylic. It will be, definitely will have pastel on it somewhere. Most of my paintings, if you look at them directly, they have some ink on them.
Yeah.
It's just my trademark.
Yeah.
I do put ink on everything.
Now, the paintings are going to hang in the library beginning today, which is, what is today? It is the March 6th. And so they'll hang until the 26th, because I'm going to have to move Diane Vance up a week. So she would normally be in April, first Friday in April, but the first Friday in April is the Friday before the rummage sale. That's not going to work. This whole place will be up for grabs that day, and they'll be setting up for the rummage sale. So we moved Diane and my interview to the last Friday in March, so you're going to be up a little shorter.
That's okay.
She'll be up a little longer. So just the way it worked out. I think that you have something you want to show on a different medium.
Oh, this is what we're experimenting with right now on Friday mornings. I mean, this is just the first one I did. It's a watercolor. It's on massa paper. It's sort of like a wax paper that you crinkle all, you wet, and then you crinkle it all up, and then you put it on newspaper, and then you pour 3 colors. You're playing with 3 colors again. You pour it, and then you say, okay, what am I going to put on here? Well, since I've used orange and yellows and a little bit of blue here, red, yellow, and it was fall, I decided to do some leaves and these little pumpkins down here. But I was just experimenting with it. So this is what we do on Friday mornings. We experiment. I'm going there right now, and I'm experimenting with the same thing, only I'm doing a cascade of apples, so I thought. But when I went to do negative painting, it looks like the apples are going to be on a tree branch.
Okay.
So I have no idea, but right now I call it, it's in the work, I used to say it's in the ugly stage, but Al told me I have to say it's in the work in process stage. So that's where I'm going right after the show, to work on that little
And that is
experiment.
something beginners have a rough time with, because I've had some beginners too. And there are stages that paintings go through where they aren't looking very good. And that's just the way it is, especially if you're layering things. And most paint is layered.
Definitely. It all has to go through that work in process stage. If it doesn't, then you're coloring.
Yeah.
I tell my colored pencil people, this is not a coloring class, this is a colored pencil class.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's been really fun to be with you. You can tell Jackie and I could talk all day. Yeah, we love art, and it's a mutual love, and so she has lots to share, and it's just fun to be with somebody who so enjoys art. So thanks for coming today.
Thank you
Really
for having
enjoyed
me.
it. Thank you very much. And everybody, you guys stay well, stay safe, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. See you next time.